Good morning. This is our Unit 6 text that we will be looking at together. This is the introduction, so our essential question is, what inspires a quest? And I want you guys to take a minute and look at these three images that are here of the different types of quests. So I just want you to observe, what do you notice about the man on the horse? What do you think is going on with the boat and the sword picture? And an astronaut landing on a planet, is that a quest? What would be the purpose of the astronaut's quest? So you right now should be thinking about, like, how would you define a quest? What is the purpose of a quest? Those sorts of things. So go ahead and take a minute and just observe, maybe talk to your sister, brother, whoever's at home about what is a quest? Why do we have quests? You can even think about them in terms of video games, right? A lot of us play video games, and you have quests, which are tasks that you're required to do in order to level up or get experience points or whatever it is that you're working on. So in those terms, what is the purpose of a quest? What happens on a quest? Those are the things that you should be thinking about and trying to figure out with this unit. So our first read of the unit is The Legend of Eldorado. Now, if you have this text out in front of you in your slideshow assignment from Google Classroom assignment, you can go ahead and write and mark down your annotations in a text box on the pages so you can see. I'm just going to be reading the text for you so that you can understand what it's saying, and we can kind of go over the vocabulary together a little bit. But you guys should be writing in your text. What is it that you are noticing in terms of the sensory images? So what pieces of the text either show you something in your mind or make you feel a certain way or think about something? Okay, so our focus is on the sensory portions of this text for today. So you just want to make sure that you're, again, focused on if it's bringing any images into your mind or if it's making you feel a certain emotion, then those are sensory items that you want to take note of. Okay? Alright. The Legend of Eldorado. Spanish explorers of the New World found vast treasures and gold in Mexico and South America. In 1519, Hernan Cortes conquered the Aztec Empire. He and his conquistadors took thousands of pounds of gold, silver, and precious jewels. Then, in 1533, Francisco Pizarro discovered the Inca Empire in South America. Like Cortes, he conquered the people and took all their gold. Both explorers brought fortunes back to Spain. Tales of gold to be found in the New World spread, and soon men seeking their fortunes sailed forth. As men searched for gold, the myth of El Dorado, a city covered with gold, spread and grew too. El Dorado in Spanish means gilded one, a custom of the rulers of the Muisca people in what is now Colombia helped foster the myth. Muisca kings coated themselves with tree sap and then covered themselves with gold dust. Afterwards, the king jumped into a lake and came out clean. Explorers believed that if a king could cover himself with gold, then there had to be a city of gold, and so they searched for El Dorado. But there was no city of gold. It was only a myth. The legend of El Dorado has also inspired writers. Voltaire sets part of his classic novel Candide, 1759, in El Dorado. Edgar Allan Poe's poem El Dorado, 1849, tells of a knight searching for the famous city of gold. Poe's knight is on a quest, but will he find the city? Okay, so that's the introduction into what we're going to be actually looking at today, which is this poem over here by Edgar Allan Poe. Some of you guys have already read Edgar Allan Poe. If you read The Telltale Heart during your small group text, he is the same author. Okay, so before we read over this, looking at our introduction here, Why would a city of gold be something that people would seek out? And what does it mean by myth? What does myth mean? If something is a myth, what does that mean? These are things you should be thinking about before we get started reading this. Okay. So we know that this poem is going to be about a knight who's on a quest to find the city. What do you think that knight is going to do if and when he finds the city? What would be the purpose in trying to find a city made out of gold? Okay. And look at this image down here. Look at all these gold pieces. It says, this musica figure on a golden raft is on display at the Gold Museum in Bogota, Colombia. So people have even made pieces of art that represent this incredibly mythical city. Now, why would they be doing that? What is it that's so intriguing or interesting about a place that was made entirely out of gold? Okay. So let's begin. Also notice there's a map up here and a sword. So these images should be bringing to mind parts of a quest. What are necessary functions of a quest? What should somebody bring with them if they were to go on a quest? Okay. El Dorado by Edgar Allan Poe. Gaily bedlight, a gallant knight in sunshine and in shadow had journeyed long, singing a song in search of El Dorado. But he grew old, this knight so bold, and o'er his heart a shadow fell as he found no spot of ground that looked like El Dorado. And as his strength failed him at length, he met a pilgrim shadow. Shadow, said he, where can it be, this land of El Dorado? Over the mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadow. Ride boldly, ride, the shade replied, if you seek El Dorado. Notice down here they give us a little footnote of what bedite means. So it means equipped. So gaily equipped. So gaily obviously means happy, happily. So happily equipped. So how is the knight feeling when he takes off on this quest? He's feeling happy. Why would he be feeling happy? What is he expecting to find? Okay. And then what happens in the second stanza down here? He's not happy anymore. What is he? What's going on with him? And then this weird line down here in stanza 3, he met a pilgrim shadow. We know pilgrim means somebody who's like moving from place to place, right? A pilgrim shadow. Do you think this is a real person? They're describing it as a shadow. Maybe it's not a person, maybe it's something else. Think about things that you would come across on a quest. Again, down here it's referenced as a shade. The shade. What are shades? What does that mean? It might be something that you want to look up to try and determine the meaning down here. So right now you should be thinking about what images are coming to mind as we read this out loud. What are you seeing in your mind's eye as you hear this poem and as you look at what's going on between the word choices here? Okay, obviously there's some rhyme, long song, shadow, El Dorado. That one's not a true rhyme, but it is an offset rhyme right there. So just take a minute, think about what is this poem actually talking about, what is it saying, what's happening. Make sure that on your copy of the text that you're making your notes here, writing what you think is going on in the text, what words bring images to your mind, what words bring up emotions for you, just so that you have them for later. And you can always come back and listen to this if you need it to be reread out loud for you to really focus in on what it is you are seeing or hearing. Alright, hope you guys are being safe, staying at home. I know it's not easy. I miss you all. Be good.